Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the young legend himself, SLK.
You know, I really hate it when people look at me and go, last born, right? Like, I hate it with all my heart. Do I look like a last born? I give you, I give you last born vibes. I, it's not true. And I'm always quick to correct them. And they say last born, I say, no, point of correction. Second born. I'm the second child, but we're just two. But if you say last born, think about it now. It looks like we're like four or five, and it looks worse than it is. I'm the second child, but we're two. Now, being the second child out of two means that you need to understand that they didn't really want you. I swear they didn't really want you. You need to know that the person they actually wanted was the first child. But most people, it won't really look good to just have one. So they have like a backup child. Just in case something goes wrong with the first. So they have you to fall back on. So I'm like the just in case child. So like, in case something goes wrong with the first, I can just step in. Being the second child out of two is like having a spare tire. Nobody ever prays to use it, but you need to have it. Deep. Yeah, because you need to have it. And let me further prove it to you. This is what I mean. This is how practical it is. My elder brother's name is Oluwamayokun, meaning my joy is full. So if your joy is full, what the hell am I doing here? Like, what am I doing here? And my brother is one to always flaunt his primogeniture in your face. Like the fact that he's the firstborn. He loves it. So he's always the one that will take the bigger piece of meat. A lot of firstborns are here. You know what I'm saying? The firstborn is always the one, he's always the one that will be quick to get to the front of the car, to sit in front. I'm sitting in front. Even if he gets there last, I'm already in front. Come down, and your parents will say, come down for your brother now. He's your elder brother. He will be the first that they will serve food. Why? I'm like, but I got here first. See, it's not first come, first serve. It's first born, first serve. Pathetic. But most people don't know that I actually have a sister. Well, long story, but short. She's actually my cousin. But we grew up together. I met her in the world. And so we grew up together. So we were made to grow up as siblings. She did everything that a sister would do. She beat me and reported me to my dad that beat me. Things that a good sister would do, generally. Shout at me. Yeah, my father, you're looking at me like that. I've said it before in one special now. My father beat me a lot. A lot. My father was big on integrity. Has always been big on integrity, anyways. So he hates lies. No jokes. I don't think I've ever seen my father lie once. Does not lie. And so he wanted to instill that in his kids. And so my father, every time, will always give you a chance to lie. Just so that I can beat you. One time, my father sent me money for my school fees in university. But I spent it. Not really spent it. I knew he was going to send me pocket money, so I spent like part of, you've done this thing before. I spent like part of it, Then I now decided that, okay, when he sends me the pocket money, I will put it back. But I didn't want to tell him that I spent it. So when he asked me, I said, no, I've not paid it yet. Have you paid your school fees? No, I've not paid it yet. So one day, I had said it several times. I just figured that it was not looking good. It was not giving me a good look. So my father, I spoke to my dad, and he was like, have you paid your school fees? I said, oh, yeah, I have. He said, when? I said, since last week. He said, because I'm in your portal now. Every other good father will say, why have you not paid your school fees? But no, not my dad. He gives you the chance to lie. He will tell you, when we're much younger, I will tell you nobody should leave the house. Yes, I was raised intensively. I was almost get inside, like we call them. So he will always give you that chance. He will always tell you that nobody should leave the house. I'm going out. Nobody should leave the house. Then he will come back and ask you, where were you around 2? You will be like, I was inside the house, but I called the landline and nobody picked. Okay. Lie. My father will tell you not to go out, but you will go out and play. And when you are, has this ever happened to you before, that your father came home prematurely? No phones that time, so he could not call you that, I'm at home, where are you? So you are coming back home from playing football to meet your dad in the living room. Do you know, there's nothing more terrifying than that, to show you know. Like, you just, now, as adults, lie comes to you easily, especially if you lie a lot. Sir, you get what I'm saying? It comes to you real quick. She's just my cousin. Real quick. I was in the office. Real quick. I'm going for a conference. Real quick. That's your baby. Real quick. So, lie comes to you real quick. But no. Not kids. Kids need time to build the lie. That's why you used to have meeting when you want to lie to your dad. You plan it. But imagine you are coming with ball as usual to your empty house, only to turn around. And you see your father sitting. Well, now, you are holding ball. You are sweating profusely. Your legs are dirty. Holding ball. My father, where are you coming from? So you're supposed to come up with something that makes sense, that is not what it looks like. And you know, as kids, we think we're smart. We try to buy time. We try to buy time to build the lie. Where are you coming from? You now lock the door twice. As if you're expecting armed robbers. Where are you coming from? Then you now turn around. You now greet to buy time. Good afternoon, sir. I'm happy to see you, sir. May God bless you. God bless you too. Where are you coming from? You know, when kids don't know what to say, they swallow spit for long. Where are you coming from? At that point, because you want to really buy time, you do this foolish thing. You now start walking towards him. So, my father, very wise man, answer from there. Answer from there. Just be like, sir, you've caught me. I went to play ball. That's the kind of house I grew up in. And my sister stayed with us, like I said. Her name is Joke. Ibijoke. But because we used to call her only when we were in distress, that name was too long. You know, you can't, in Yoruba families, you can't call her Joke. You have to say Sister Joke. And that name was too long, especially when you're in distress. So we merged the Stoke. So Stoke was her name. And because that name stuck. And so, And so we call that Sister Joke. And one of the meanings of Joke is that we gathered to take care of her. So she lived with every of my mom's siblings. I say mom's siblings. You know, are you aware that in Yoruba land you can't call your mom's sibling auntie or uncle? Oh, you didn't know? In school, they taught us that your mommy's sister is what? Did you call your mom's sister auntie? You called. We used to call them mommy, then where they stay. So, mommy, Ibadan. Daddy, Festac. Mommy, Ekiti. I see some of you. Some of you are working hard to be daddy, Canada. Mommy, London. You will now come back home and be mixing English and Yoruba perfectly. Motiman suffered several times. I see you. I'm not judging you. Because I don't think anybody in our generation wants to be mommy Gondo. Daddy Ekiti. In our generation, mommy Oshun. Is that your auntie or your god? I don't know. Mommy Oshun. No, but so she because she stayed with us, that's when I understood that. First, I understood firsthand that there are differences between men and women. We boys, even in the kinds of songs we listen to, we boys then, we really just wanted to groove. So our songs were groovy. We just wanted to dance. But on the other hand, she was more of the laid back, chilled, good old R&B, the Brandies, the Celine Dion's, the Boys to Men, and of course, even the Westlife.
I'd always look back as I walk away. This memory will last for eternity, and all of our tears will be lost in the rain. I found my way back to your arms again, but until that day, you know you are the queen of my heart.
I could only see one or two people that were singing along. You guys don't know. Don't worry, I'll help you. You don't have to bite your tongue. I will help you because there's only one or two people that came from the island to my show. Fine. It's okay. These are guys looking like, what are we doing here? What's this? Is this a song? Myself and my brother on the other hand, we liked groove. And so the only person that was really popping at the time we were growing up that gave us that groove was no other person but the ghetto soldier himself. Daddy what? Daddy Shoki. You know that all Daddy Shoki's songs, all his songs had one beat. Move on, Daddy Show. Make all the people them know say we rock this show. Okay, so see, those days, we didn't really send charts. The only way that we knew that your song was a hit was when he had a street remix. So that song, you probably don't know the original, but I'm sure you know the street remix. Mama, Papa, school no day, wetin happen? Which kind Gary? I'm disappointed in all of you. Oh yeah, congratulations. Hey. Oh yeah, fornicate. Sorry, celebration, sorry. Those days, my mother specifically, she'll sit you down and tell you that if you hear your name, don't answer. If someone calls your name, don't answer until you confirm who. They told you that, mommy, you told her. Very good. Apparently, nobody told Daddy Shoki. Somebody call my my name. Call my name. This is how I knew that they were calling him from the village. Mama them are calling my name. Little children, them are calling my name. This is how I knew. Daddy come, daddy come, daddy. He actually answered them. He answered them, oh, Shoki Ihi. He answered them. No, but that was the difference. And because she stayed with us, she was going to take us to school, inevitably. So she used to take us to school. I remember she was one of my earliest memory of school, she took me. Don't you just miss those days? I see some of you here now. Like this Oga now, as he's folding his hands. What is in his mind? House rent. Fuel, if you have a car. Oh, you don't? Yeah, very soon. Transport. If you are married, your wife, house bills, food. Some of you are even worried about how to go back home. Don't you just miss the days when you didn't have to worry about all that? Don't you miss the days that the only thing that kept you up at night, was, what is it now? And you had to, you did the swag now. A noun is the name of any person, animal, place, or if you wanted to prove that, no, that your school was better than every other school, when they ask you what is a noun, you say, a noun is a naming word. A noun is a naming word. People will look at you like, wow. But if you really want to sound wise, if you want to sound smart, if you want to sound like Einstein, this definition. What is democracy? Democracy is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Wow! You are so brilliant. They can actually ask you something else, and you will not know. But if you give them definition of democracy, they can give you 10 marks. What is photosynthesis? I don't know. But democracy is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Wow! You are so, even some of our leaders don't know that. My sister used to take us to school, and we'll be reciting all those things together. I'll be telling her stuff. And interestingly, one day, I can never forget, she was taking us to school. And we got down from the bus, myself and her. And where's my brother? My brother was in the bus, and the bus had gone. I don't know whether he could not shout, "Oh, wow." Or maybe he thought his firstborn will walk everywhere. I don't know. I had to ask, is it that he could not shout Owa? Or he could not shout Omboleo? I think what he said is, it's descending. They say for you. Stop now, it's alighting. My sister, you should have seen my sister that day, she was crying. Me, I always like to see the bright side of everything. You know that firstborn I was talking about? Now I can get the big piece of meat. All to myself. But she, not only school, she used to take me to Sunday school too. Like, Sunday school we never missed it, because our parents were like top people in Sunday school. How many of you went to Sunday school? You did Sunday school? Again, Sunday school has island and mainland. You know this. The songs, it's always in the songs. The songs on the island are always different from the songs on the mainland.
Jesus loves the little children, oh, the children of the world. Red, brown, yellow, black, and white, they are precious in His sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world, 'cause He's got the whole world in His hands. He's got the whole world in His hands. He's got the whole world in His hands. He's got the whole world in His hands.
guys are not trying to form. You are trying to form that you know the song. Ooh, my people. Sorry. Let's go to the poor. Sorry, the poor. Are we ready? The songs we used to sing then, they were totally different as well. We were more groovy, you know? How many of you know? Ọmọ Ọlọ́run tó ń parọ́. Before Burna Boy gave us Oyeke, we had our own Oyeke. Ọmọ Ọlọ́run tó ń parọ́. Ọmọ Ọlọ́run tó ń parọ́. Tó ń parọ́. Tó ń parọ́. Poor people, what's your obsession? What's your obsession with the devil? Why must devil be in everything? Devil don't fall for gutter. Oh. No, but there was only one song that no matter your side of the divide, no matter your side of the divide, that song cuts across. This particular one. God has something to say. This is where you will catch them. Hold it. If your neighbor said listen. That is Egbeda. That is straight from the heart of Ekiti. Listen. What is listen? But that song was only used for one thing, and one thing only. Memory verse. Recitation. Oh my goodness. Memory verse recitation. Who has a memory verse? All of us, we just come out. 10 of us. Oh yeah, line up. The problem is that all of us have the same memory verse. This guy knows what I'm saying. He's the first person to come out that is lucky. The guy will just come out proudly. Oh yeah, you go first. All of you, line up. All of you are giving us memory verses. Oh yeah. First guy will just come out. God has something to say. God has something to say. Listen. Pay rapt attention, for God has something to say. My name is Shegun Ajayi. I'm in primary 1. My memory verse is taken from the book of John 3:16. All of us. Oh my God, that's what I wanted to say. The teacher will be like, will you come back? Is that all God has to say? And he says, for God so loved the world, I gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him will not perish but have everlasting life. Thank you. God has something to say. The next guy, we look for another simple verse. Although that one is a little bit hard. It's harder than the one, but you will still scale through. My name is Femi Taiwo. I'm in primary 2. My memory verse is taken from the book of John chapter 10, verse 10, and it says, the thief cometh not but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. But I have come that he may have life more abundantly. God. Okay. Okay. You know, then me. I was number 10. Everybody has been saying simple verse. That's when I started to respect worry people. The guy in front of me, Ruke, worry boy, just came out. Everybody had said all the simple verses. The guy just came out. When he was done, it felt like he scammed the whole church. God has something to say. Listen. Pay rapt attention, for God has something to say. My name is Ruke. I'm in primary 2. My memory verse is taken from the book of John chapter 11, verse 35, and it says, Jesus wept. God Me, I was number 10. You people are giving me PTSD. My father and my mother, they sat in front like this. They were all looking. That's my son. They were telling the other guy, that's my mom in here, that's my son. Nothing. I was just looking, Lord, what do you have to say? Nothing. There's nothing. That's how I started. By the way, to buy time, you know now, I turned that song to worship. God has something to say. The people were, the teacher, my friend, will you go straight to what God has to say? We don't have all day. Something just came to my head. Wait, nobody is actually checking these Bible passages to confirm what God is saying. What if I just mention a rare obscure part of the Bible that nobody knows, then just insert something wise. Something God can say. I should be able to scale through this. Brilliant idea, right? I just went. My memory verse is taken from the book of Habakkuk. Nahum. Nahum chapter 2, verse 3. My mother was like, which day this boy starts with a reading on? Nahum chapter 2, verse 3. Something wise, something God can say. Nahum chapter 2, verse 3. And it says, something wise. Democracy is government of the people. Hey! So you can imagine how it felt 2 years ago when my sister told us that she has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. From where? How? And my mother kept asking those questions, like, why? From where? I mean, it was sad but obviously, as you can already tell, I was brought up in a Christian home. And so we knew at this point that prayer was the way because, we need to get our hopes up. And so we mobilized the rest of our cousins. We had like a group on WhatsApp. And so there was a meeting, and we had to decide how we're going to pray weekly, fast and pray and all of that, because this is really serious, all right? Late detection and all of that. And so this is really serious. We need to pray. And so my cousins were so sad. And there's always that one overzealous cousin. It was like, sister, Stoke cannot. No. You know what? Why don't we? Because we're trying to deliberate on getting one day that we'll pray and fast and gather in the evening. Thank God, virtually. Thank God for technology and pray. So we're still trying to figure out the day that works for everyone because we're quite a number. And one of my cousins were like, no, Stoke, no, let's not do once a, let's do like twice a week, 2 times a week. So my brother was like, is everybody okay with 2 times a week? Everywhere was quiet, including the person that brought it up. So I now broke the silence. I was like, I don't think anybody will have the mind to say no, that they don't like twice a week. Nobody wants to be looked at as the devil. So let's just go with once a week, like we already are. Let's know that everybody will be part of it. She will scale through this, and everybody was pumped, and we started praying. Even in our spirituality, fear kicks in. If you notice how we pray when people are sick, you can tell that the fear kicks in as the sickness increases. The kind of songs we sing, If the person says, oh, I have headache, we sing the song before praying, and we even smile. Headache. But if the person says it's malaria or typhoid, the song changes a bit, but this time we sing it with a straight face.
There is power mighty in the blood. There is power mighty in the blood.
But if, the thing now gets into something like cerebral malaria, first of all, you don't even know the name. You've never heard the name before. So your straight face turns to frown.
Kosoruko to dabiti Jesu. Kosoruko to dabiti Baba.
Now, if you now gets to something like hepatitis, at that point, you take a position of penitence. And then you start asking God questions.
Kile ole she Ọlọ́run mi.
Then if you now hear something like cancer, at that point, you stand up, you dust. That time you ask for hymn book. Hymn 102.
Nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer to thee.
Because you have given up. We were careful not to do that. We were careful not to, do the whole thing. We prayed as much as we could. We're praying every Tuesday, I told you. And interestingly, she actually got better. First set of chemo, successful. She calls me and she was like, man, she feels so happy, she feels so strong. Thank you. You guys have been great. Thank you. All the support, prayer, financial, whatever it is. And I was like, man, let's thank God. We even did like a Thanksgiving thing and all of that. So, November last year, 2023, sometime in November, I was on my way to the comedy club when my mom told me that, that they've taken your sister to the hospital. I mean, this has happened once or twice before during our first chemo session. This is our second chemo session. So I can imagine that the chemo is taking its toll, all right? And so, yeah, that's fine. Then the next day, my mom is there, and she's, how is she? Yeah. Friday night, my parents left there 1 a.m. And I was like, okay, this is very serious. They left there 1 a.m. Saturday morning. So on Saturday morning, I had to be there. I had to be there early in the morning. I was like the first person to get there. Saturday, 25th of November. I was the first person to get there. And I got there, the nurse, and that's when I realized that I probably look like my mom. Because immediately the nurse saw me. He said, you must be mommy's last born. I said, no, point of correction. It's second born. I said, oh, well, second born. So the problem now is that we need to buy oxygen. Never heard of that before. I will listen in the movies. I'm like, oxygen, okay, so get it, money. Oh, okay. So send the money, like, do whatever you need to do. I mean, she now said, yeah, one more thing. Please don't let mommy come. Mommy must not see her this way because she wasn't like this when she left. I was like, yeah, that's true. Mommy is over 70. Mommy must not see her like this. Although I didn't see her, but she said mommy must not see her. So I could now imagine the extent. Like, we're getting oxygen. Like, getting oxygen now? Really? And so I called my dad, obviously. My dad was like, what's the situation? I said, Daddy, they said I should buy oxygen. Apparently, she's already placed on oxygen, blah, blah, blah. She said, he was like, oxygen? Apparently, he was on his way to Shagamu to see Daddy Shagamu. And so he was on his way. Oxygen, okay, I'm turning back now. He didn't get to Shagamu. He made a U-turn, sharp turn, because we were at Lagos University Teaching Hospital. And so he turned back, and he was coming back to Lagos. I said, oh, Daddy, one more thing. They said, Mommy should not come, all right? And now, this is where the problem lies. Never in the history of Mommy have you ever been able to succeed in telling Mommy not to do what she wants to do. She will always do what she wants to do. She had already started calling me. I'm on my way. Hope you are there. How is she feeling? I said she's fine. She's even responding. My dad started coming to loot from the express. He said, okay, I will handle it. Apparently, what my dad did was to tell her, he could not tell her not to come. He said, I'm going to Shagamu. When I'm done in Shagamu, I will come straight to the house, and then we'll go together to loot. That is what my father said. And so my father came, to cut the long story short. My sister's husband, Uncle Tosin, came. They came about the same time. And so we were now allowed to enter about the same time. In fact, at the same time. So 3 of us entered. So all of us were seeing her for the first time with the oxygen mask at the same time. This is how you know the view was bad. Nobody said, let's pray. At that point, everybody started praying. My sister's husband faced the wall. Uncle Joseph faced the wall, looked up, and was crying as if to ask God what's going on. My dad was holding her legs where she was like, no, this cannot happen. Joke, no. I was pacing everywhere, just praying that this cannot happen. Because at this point, only God can take control.
Oníṣègùn làwa ní Jésù àbánidárò, ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ mú ni láradá, agbóhùn ti Jésù, ìró dídùn lórí Séráfù, orúkọ dídùn ní ahọ́n, orin tó dùn jù lọ ní Jésù, Jésù, Jésù.
We're praying. Just kept on praying. My father held her legs. He was praying. Joke, you cannot die in the name of Jesus. You cannot die in the name of Jesus. We hear the man was lost, facing the wall, praying. And all of a sudden, his phone rings. In the name of Jesus, Joke, you will not die. Hello? I'm in Shagamu. I'm still in Shagamu. In the name of Jesus, you will not. I'm still in Shagamu. In the name of Jesus, you will not die. I was at the other side of the world. I was like, what did you just tell mommy? I told her I was in Shagamu. Did you just lie to mommy in the middle of a serious prayer? So my father was trying to walk up to me to tell me why he needed to do that. As he was coming, I said, hey, answer from there. Like, answer from there. Then he came to me and he was like, yeah, I mean, these things are, you know how your mommy is. I said, okay. And then he said something. The next thing he said shocked me. He said, yeah, let me quickly go and tell the driver downstairs what to tell her, because I know she's going to call him. So that, I said, you tell him to lie. I was looking at him, that was so quick. I'm like, is this your first time? It's like, this is not your first time of lying to her. And so he went, he came back, and I was just there, and we're praying, like we prayed for hours, we chilled. Now everybody is chilled. Like I'm trying to cheer her husband up, she's still breathing. Where there's life, there's hope, My dad was still seated there in Shagamu, And we're just there. Everywhere was chilled. As if I was not going through enough. Because I felt like everyone was calm, I just brought out my phone and I started watching Chelsea's match. As if I was not going through enough. I'm a Chelsea fan. So we're playing Newcastle. Newcastle scored early in the match. It's like, as if I was not going through it enough already. So I was just there, sad. And they were looking at me like, oh yeah, she was close to all of us. She's cool. You don't want to say, I'm like, yeah, I get it, bro. So I'm there, I'm watching Chelsea's match. We're losing. Things are not looking good, My sister is right there, oxygen mask, struggling to breathe, bro. Like, that's how it was. It was heartbreaking seeing her that way. Like, they had to increase the pressure on the oxygen. And so it was like that. I was just there like, God, please. If Chelsea can just equalize, I'll be so grateful. Guess what? 2 minutes later, Sterling free kick. Pow! I didn't know when I shouted, go! Everybody looked at me. I said, God, please! Just have to take control. And then I realized that if I knew that at that moment God was going to answer a prayer, I'll have prayed for something more important. I'll have prayed for something more important, like God, let Chelsea win the league. Something more important. It's like, and so inevitably, my dad had to go back home from Shagamu. So, as if he had not done, he has not sinned enough, he called myself and my sister's husband. He said, I'm going back home to mommy now. You know how mommy is. I still cannot tell her not to come. So what I would do is, we're going to drive out. Now, can you imagine how stubborn my mom is? We're going to actually drive out, myself and your mom. Then I'm going to call you, that's my sister's husband, and I'm going to put it on speaker that we're on our way. Then you, it's now giving my sister's husband lines now. You now say, no. He actually dramatized it. You now say, no. Emma, don't worry. The doctor said that they are not allowing people inside anymore. So please. The way he dramatized it, he almost said, oh yeah, rehearse it. The man now said, no, don't worry, I understand. Yeah. Like in 5 minutes, my father was dismantling what he had taught me for 30 years. So it's okay to lie now, it's fine. And so my father leaves, and we were there. I cheered him up more. We went to eat, because he had not eaten since morning, understandably so. But I mean, come on. So we went to eat, spoke about career, spoke about everything, came back, prayed again, sang hymns, prayed, talked. And then my father calls. Of course, they had done their drama. So my father calls and goes like, now this is around 6:30, 7. He said, I think you should get more oxygen. Because if she's going to be there overnight, we don't want to hear stories. I'm like, oh, Daddy, there's one extra oxygen here. He said, well, even at that, we still need to get more oxygen. I'm like, the ward actually has a standby oxygen of there. He said, what if someone needs? I said, okay, fair point. She's going to be here throughout the night. We might need to go and get oxygen. But he was saying, go and get oxygen, because I'm the one that will pay. I'm like, who's going to pay for this? I'm like, this is why I really want her to get back on her feet, so that she can pay me back all my oxygen money. And so we started going in Lut. That's when I realized that where the oxygen is, very far. I understand that oxygen is flammable, highly flammable, and they want to put it as far away as possible. But I've noticed this thing about government hospitals. I think that's how they heal people. They put places far. The one that shocked me the most, National Orthopedic Hospital, Igbobi, Orthopedic Hospital. They will stress your life. You will go, the doctor now say, oh, okay, for your legs, you need to get this, go to the pharmacy and get this. Where's the pharmacy? Down. So you with your bad leg now, start going. You go like 20 kilometers. Like in National Orthopedic Hospital, they have an expressway. That's how, they have a football field. For who? And so just kept on going. You get to the pharmacy. The pharmacist will look at you. Oh, we have the drug, but they didn't tell you. You need to first of all pay. Where am I paying? Say, do you know where you're coming from? No, not there, just beside it. So you now go back with your bad leg. You now go. You pay. By the time you pay, you have to go and collect your drugs. Then you now go, you take this back to the doctor. By the time you get back to the doctor, your leg don't heal. Doctor will now say you are healed. What? You are not healed yet. Okay, go back to the pharmacy. It felt like it felt like that's how they heal people. And so we just kept on going. And as we were going to we were going to get the oxygen, that's when I realized that. Did you know that in Lut, they actually have a full-blown event center? Very close to the mortuary. Event center, like they were doing a party when we were there. We were passing them. They were doing a naming ceremony. Naming ceremony close to a mortuary. Felt like the entrance and exit of the. And that's when I realized that if you walk around hospitals long enough, there is no way you will not be thankful for life.
Ó yẹ ká dúpẹ́, ó yẹ ká dúpẹ́, ó yẹ ká dúpẹ́, ó yẹ ká ṣọpẹ́. Ara sán, atẹ́gùn fẹ́, ìjì jẹ́ kó gbé wa lọ. Ó yẹ ká dúpẹ́.
There is no way you will not be thankful for life. And we walked around. By the time we got to where to get the oxygen, we're out of breath. Felt like we needed to get some for ourselves, And so when we saw the process was that you had to pay, we went there, and they were going to bring the oxygen. And so we were walking back, talking and gisting. And when I was parked in front, and we're about to go upstairs, and my sister's husband, Uncle Tosin, was like, "No, you can't. It's 7:38. You've been here. You were the first to get here. Why don't you just go home, and you can come back in the morning? You get." I said, "Nah, no, there's no need. I'm here now. I'll just drive home." He said, "No, you don't have to." I said, "Okay, let me just ensure that the oxygen, at least they bring it, and let me be sure." And as we were going back and forth, the guy bringing the oxygen just came with the oxygen and was going up. So he said, "You see, they brought it." I'm like, "Okay, but let me just stay with you." He said, "By the way, my sister is already at the gate." So he told me that his sister was at the gate and he was already. I was like, "Okay, that's fine. You're sure, friend." And so I got into the car and I started going home. I was just praying under my breath and, trying my best to stay hopeful. And I was on my street, almost literally, and I got a call from him. And I was like, "It's okay. Are you home now?" I said, "Yes, I am. Thanks for checking up." And the next thing I heard a female voice. And she was like, "Sir, where are you?" I was like, "I'm almost home." "Anthony, yeah?" I said, "Can you come back? We need you to come back." Oh, okay. I said, "Sure, no problem." I figured maybe we need to pay for something or something. So I caught the call, made a U-turn. I was driving home. I called my elder brother, who is not around, by the way. He was out of the country, or he's out of the country for work. So I called him, but he's been following up, I've been praying together and all of that. And so I called him. I said, "My uncle, they just called me back that I should come back, and honestly, I'm scared, but I don't know." He said, "No, let's just go. You're probably going to pay for something or something." And so I drove. I got to the car park. I didn't even park well. Well, not because of anything, I'm just a bad driver. So I didn't park well. I just came down. I went upstairs, I got to the ward. And from the door, I didn't see the oxygen. I didn't see the drip. And I'm like, I looked, I didn't see my sister. So I figured I was in the wrong ward. So I turned back. And as I turned back, I saw my sister's husband, and he held my hand. And he said, "It has happened." I said, "What has happened?" He said, "She's gone."
Nearer, my girl, to thee, nearer to thee, even though it be a cross that raised me, still on the
that can't happen. I mean, we prayed, we did all this, we did all we needed to do. And so I go back to her bed, and I realized that the reason I didn't see her the first time was because they covered her, and so I opened it, like, come on, man, this cannot happen. Like, I saw my sister, like the most active woman I've ever known, practically lifeless. I said, no, this cannot happen. This really cannot happen. There was nothing I did not do. I prayed, I even sent her WhatsApp messages because we chat mostly on WhatsApp. So whether she can hear the beep and just respond real quick, and I'll just hold her, like, don't go back, in fact, I even did something I'd never done before in my life. I called pastor. I'm like, we need to do this. And man, we started praying, prayed. After a while, pastor said something. He said, I don't know. I said, okay, I don't know how to say this. But I believe she's with Jesus.
Àmọ́ fẹ́ rí Jésù kí n máa wojú rẹ̀, kí n máa kọrin títí nípa oore rẹ̀. Nílùú ògo ni kí n gbóhùn sókè pé mo bọ́ ìjà tán mọ́dẹ ilé mi. Àmọ́ fẹ́ rí Jésù kí n máa wojú rẹ̀, kí n máa kọrin títí nípa oore rẹ̀. Nílùú ògo ni kí n gbóhùn sókè pé mo bọ́ ìjà tán mọ́dẹ ilé mi.
Some consolation, I mean, but after a while, it dawned on me. That day, guess what? That day was her daughter's birthday. Die on your daughter's birthday. I didn't even, at that point, I stopped mourning for myself. I just had to put myself in her daughter's shoes.
Ìyá ni wúrà iyebíye tí a kò lè fowó rà. Ó lóyún mi fóṣù mẹ́sàn-án, ó pọ́n mi fọ́dún mẹ́ta. Ìyá ni wúrà iyebíye tí a kò lè fowó rà.
Of course, Uncle Tosin was there, his sister was there, like, we're just three there at the point. We're calling people, trying to think, how are we going to tell mommy? Like, I don't know, what's going to happen? And he was worried, everybody was worried. And at that point, I saw one man just walking. He wore like, this, I guess another version of hospital uniform. It was like cream. He just came with a bag. Apparently, he's the guy that bags the bodies. I never knew those existed. Like, I'm a jobs deal. How can that be your job? Like, what do you tell people you do? Like, every time they see you, every time you appear, someone has died. Do you know? You know how mad that is? I was looking at the guy, he looked like Green Reaper. He looked like a vulture. He just came, he just dropped the bag. Oh, you guys are still crying. I mean, he didn't say it out loud, but that's the look I saw in his face. Oh, and he walked out. I was like, okay, what's going on here? And of course, the nurses. I mean, nurses really do a great job. I don't think anybody has seen more dead people or more people dying than nurses in the world. I don't know. But the nurse just came with a straight face, as if nothing just happened. Please, we need to bag her. Please. I mean, she's going to... I'm like, is it my sister? They are bagging. And she was like, yeah, so we can just do it. You guys can cry here. You can... can cry around this side, it's fine. We just need to. And so they had to do what they had to do. At that point, 11:30, my father and these men off the top, they're always looking for solutions for everything. Even at this stage, while everything was going on, chaos everywhere, my father was calling me. I was like, well, that's happened. You need to ensure what's next. Ask them, what do they? I said they're bagging the body right now. Are they going to take it to the mortuary? Yeah, they've called the mortuary. Okay. Now, you people need to leave there now. Because he's thinking 11:30 p.m. You are still going home. You're out. That's too late for my dad. For we entertainers, 11:30 is like morning. it's like morning. But my father, this was late, dead late. People are going to die. So he was saying it because my sister's husband, they stay in Festac. And so he wanted them to leave. And if you know anything about Festac, you just know that it's far. Festac is far from anywhere. Guy, Festac is far from Festac. That's how far Festac is. Festac, I feel like after Festac is Bermuda Triangle. And so my father was like, you need to leave there now. And I'm like, if anybody else needs to die, I think this is the right time. Can just cry together and let's just do this once and for all. It was like, it's fine. Okay. And my father said, you must take him to Festac. I was like, no, his sister is here. Oh, his sister is here. Okay, fine. You go home, let them go, ensure that they go home first. As I was about to go, I remember something, so I went back. The oxygen. To pack oxygen home. I don't care. So if you come to my house now, I offer you oxygen. Come on. And so I was going home around 12 after just seeing my sister pass. And this is where I now began to reason that, okay, maybe the people that say I should get married, maybe they have a point. Driving all alone. Alone, bro. After just seeing my sister there, got home, came down from the car, opened the gate, came inside the car, drove in, all alone, locked the gate, bam. So armed robbery does not happen again. And so I open, enter, get in to an empty house, went straight to the bathroom, took one of the longest showers I've ever taken in my life, straight from the bathroom, just like that, went straight to the bed. Now you know I sleep naked. And I just laid, just me, nobody to talk to, nobody, just laid, looked up at the ceiling, all by myself. Or where? Not, maybe not by myself.
Olùtùnú mi ló jẹ́ ní gbogbo wàhálà, òun nìkan ni omi lóhùn lórí. Òun nìtọ́nà ìgbàdo ìràwọ̀ òwúrọ̀, òun nìkan lárẹ̀wà tí ọkàn mi fẹ́. In sorrow is my comfort, in trouble is my stay. He tells me every care on him to roll. He's the lily of the valley, the brighter morning star. Is the fairest of 10,000 to my soul.
You know the annoying thing about life? You know the annoying thing about time? Time goes on. Like clockwork. Morning. So we had to go to the mortuary to ensure that everything is in place to identify the body. Like, nothing waits. And as I got to the mortuary, I now realized that nobody has better customer care than mortuary attendants. Mortuary attendants, best customer care. You're welcome. Why are you so happy? You're welcome. Sit down. Ejoko, which? Now, what do you care to drink? I said, God forbid I drink blood. Yeah. So, Ojo Ajin or Cyril, that's what they say. Like greeting you, yeah. So these are our packages, there's VIP, she'll be fine, and it's like, what? I'm there just thinking, what am I doing here? How? I was with her, I was with Uncle Tosin, that's my sister's husband, and his own sister. And we're just there and talking. And the next thing, all of a sudden, my father was like, he called me. I sent something to your WhatsApp now. Now is the time for responsibility. We have to bury her real quick. There's no need having her wait. So this week, you know what? Mobilize. Check what I saw. Check what I sent to you. I sent you the arrangements, the things that are going to be needed to be done. I sent it to your WhatsApp. Check it. I sent it to your WhatsApp. Check it. Check it. And I was like, and I said, yeah. So mobilize your cousins, mobilize the rest of your cousins, and get this burial done. All right? Mobilize the rest of my cousins. And that's when it dawned on me. Wait, I'm the last born. I picked up my phone, I called my brother. Hello, Michael. You remember when you used to eat the big piece of meat? When you used to sit in front? You remember? It's not first come, first serve. It's first born, first serve. Now is the time to serve. You saw the text message I sent to you, Abi. Daddy said you should mobilize the cousins, and let's do this real quick. My brother said, what do you mean? Are you not the second born? I said, point of correction. Last born. And so, I mean, one of the saddest things about this thing is the fact that the same group that we set up for her prayers, we used it for her burial planning. Sad. And so we started the meeting. This has happened. That same overzealous cousin. It's okay. So we're now deciding, okay, so I think we should just use Yaba Cemetery and overzealous cousin. No, it's okay, Yaba, no. Oh, let's use Ikoyi Vault. My brother said, yeah, that's a very good idea. I said, when I watch movies, I don't know much. You know, I'm the last one. Well, when I watch movies, when they say vault, it's usually money that is inside. Lots of money. Nobody ever uses vault for 10,000 naira. All right? I don't know much. My brother said, come on. Let's give it a try. Don't just say never. Never say never like that. You know, over there, internet is fast. She was just there. Let's just Ikoyi Vault price. But you know, she grew up in Yaba. I mean, home sweet home, isn't it? Like, okay. Now you see the point. The next day, my father calls me. The driver is coming to you. My driver is coming to you. You're going to go to the cemetery. You're going to go to the cemetery. You're going to have to, two of you will go to the cemetery. You're going to get a place and all of that. I was like so quick. I'm like, wait, why is it me that has to go to the cemetery? Why is it me that has to do all this all of a sudden? My father said, your brother is not around now, which is why we had you. Just in case your brother is not around. Oh. So I'm the just in case child, isn't it? And so we went there, went to the cemetery. Guys, I kid you not. Just like the mortuary attendants, nobody has better customer care than people in the cemetery. You're welcome. Why are people in charge of dead people so joyous and happy? It might interest you to note that when we got to the cemetery, we discovered that just a fence, like the other side of the fence of the cemetery, people live there. Like normal people. Some people actually came here from there. Full block of flats. I mean, normal. I saw people spreading clothes. I'm not joking. People are having views of beach, the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. People are having views of the busy Lagos hustle and bustle. You are having view, quiet, resting place. Do you know how crazy? And these people they go to work. They go to work and they tell them I'm going home. They'll ask you which home. They say which home? Home sweet home. No jokes. Like me, I like to stroll. Wherever I live, I take night walks. How can you live just beside it? How do you take night walks around it? Even if you don't go alone. Even if you don't stroll alone, it's still scary. You're walking with somebody. As you're walking, you see somebody just walking funny. You tap the guy beside you. Why is that guy looking funny? The guy beside you says, "You can see me." Ah! No, I mean, how do you live in the cemetery? Anyways, we go inside the cemetery, and that's when I realized that the way they were marketing spaces for me in the cemetery is exactly like real estate agents. This place is really nice. Follow me. It's just that the guy did not have big bum bum. That's the only difference. You just follow me. This place is really nice. She will love it. It's 5 minutes away from Dangote Refinery. We're in Yaba. See space. You know, and I said, how much? 1 million. I said, next. It's like, this place is really nice, it's good. The next thing, as we were going, this was around 6:30. It had gotten a little bit late. It was getting dark. That's how I heard my name from behind. Olu. And my mother has warned me never to answer anybody when they call me. Because I don't know, especially, at least not if there is any time to use that advice. Can't be better than the cemetery. Olu. I didn't answer. He just came to my phone. My daddy's driver. I'm take pay now. I'm like, no, you cannot be calling me in the cemetery like that. No, you cannot. He said, please, I want to go and eat myself. I said, okay. I was even surprised that he was willing to isolate himself. So I was like, maybe he wanted to greet his ancestors. I don't know. So he went far to eat himself. And in fact, there's a place you will like. That's the the cemetery. Took me inside. We started going. I was just hearing crickets. This was almost 7. I was like, where are we going, this man? Yeah, follow me. This place, cheap and affordable, and you will like it. Now got it. Yeah, this is it. Space, you will like it. And you know I know you will like it because this is where I stay. I said, what? He said, yeah, this is where I stay. Before, as he was saying that, I felt touching me like. I said, Jesus! My daddy's driver said, you said I should not call your name, then you will not touch me. So you feel it's better to touch me. Anyway, we did what we needed to do there. And as quickly as time went, it was time for the burial. We had prepared for this and all of that. Everybody was gloomy. But I noticed something. Apparently, I've been to a lot of burials. I didn't even know. I didn't know I'd been to so many wake-keeps and burials until one day I was at one burial and I was telling the person beside me, you see now, they will soon call. Like, the guy looked at me like, you do this a lot. I remember going for one burial, like the way they conduct burials in the Anglican church where my sister was buried is kind of different from other churches. I went to one church in Egbeda. My friend's mom died, and I don't think they told the choir that it was a burial service. I think they just told them it's a service. Because the joy. Somebody say, Baba! Why are you so happy? Somebody say, Baba! Baba! I looked at my friend. I said, who do you say killed your mom? You can't be this happy. People were just, you know what? The choir leader said, wait, stop. You people are not, are you aware? He said, you people are not. Are you aware that some people are dead as we speak? Yes! If you're happy, you are not in the mortuary, but in the sanctuary. Now me, they wink. Hey! But in the Anglican church, it's a little different, you know. In the Anglican church, it's a little bit different. Their songs are a little more solemn.
Near my God to be, near to thee, even though it be crushed, there is a thee. Still all my song shall be, nearer my God to thee, nearer my God to thee, nearer to thee.
And so we conducted the burial service. You know, everybody was sad. I saw my cousins again, and we were reminiscing on the times we had with our sister. Just before the interment, now I saw my sister's kids. Now she has a daughter, the first, and 2 boys. Now, they seem to take after my sister a lot, in the sense that my sister is one of the bluntest people you will ever meet. I remember clearly when I got into a relationship in year 2. I quickly told her that I have a girlfriend now. And she looked at me, why? I said, I have a girlfriend now. You're not going to marry her now. So why are you? Just face your studies, my friends, and you're not going to marry her. I was so deflated. I wanted to prove her wrong. Studies, I did not face. Her, I did not marry. In fact, I did not even marry. My sister, about 5 years, from like 5 years ago, she started calling me, hello, you know, you need to get married. You know, mommy and daddy, they're not getting any younger. You need to get married. Even before she died, my last birthday, she called me, she sang for me, and that was like her last statement. When are you going to get married? You know, mommy and daddy are not getting any younger. Well, on the bright side, one less person disturbing me about marriage. and so I saw her kids and I was excited. I was greeting them. And the boy, the middle boy, sharp mouth, guy just looked at me. You are looking out of shape. From where to where? Me, I don't play like that too. I don't care where you are. Yes, I'm very petty. I had to win. Yes, now I can't lose now. I had to win. Come on. So I had to say something that will pain him. Now I'm looking out of shape. Yes. Maybe because my mom is still alive. The boy was quiet. Then he looked at me. But my own sister is still alive. I said, well done. But I'm just joking though. I didn't say that. I couldn't have said that. I'm not that wicked. I couldn't have said that. And quickly, it was time, you know, for the interment. We went to the cemetery. I saw the guy that lives around. I dodged him as much as I could. I think the guy was saying hi to his new neighbor. So, and so we were there, and as they were lowering the body, I could not help it. I just had flashbacks of that day. Like, I kept on thinking, what did we do wrong? Like, is God not God anymore? Like, I was sure that she wasn't going to die. I mean, that day, I was sure. I kept on thinking, where did we go wrong? And I thought, maybe I should have allowed them pray 2 times a week. Maybe. Because I don't know. I don't know what else. I mean, and you know, a lot of times when we read about the 3 Hebrew boys in the Bible that were thrown into the fiery furnace, we read it as if they were actually very confident. But the fact is, were they? I mean, they said that God is able to save us. But even if he's not able to save us, we won't bow. Meaning, even if we die, he's still God, right? And I think that was like what was coming to my head at that point. Because what I didn't tell you is that when I called Pastor said, you know, the prayer of the dead to be brought back to life is a prayer that will always be answered for the believer, whether here or after. And so, even though we have questions and we don't understand how some things happen, one day, we'll get answers to our questions.
Temptations, hidden snares, often take us unawares, and our hearts are made to bleed for some thoughtless words or deeds, and we wonder why the test when we try to do our best. Or we will understand it better by and by. By and by, when the morning's come, when the saints of God are gathered home, we will tell the story of how we've overcome. We would understand it better by and by. Batsobaya awayo moye nígbà tí Jésù Olúwa bá dé, àwa yóò ṣíròyìn bá ṣe dá ṣẹ́gun. Àwa yóò mòye ní kíkún tó bá yá.
And so I had to face my mom, you know, in all of this. I know I didn't talk about her much. And one of the things I hate the most is seeing her cry, you know. And so I couldn't really face it. Trust me, I tried. And so because I always like to see the bright side of things, I figured, you know what? This might be the only time you visit where she won't talk about marriage. So you might as well. And so I just went, and true to his word, her eyes were swollen, you know. Started crying all over again. She said something really, really poignant. She said, Joke, mo mojoto bi, mo de mojoto sin. Translation, Joke, I knew when she was born, and I knew when she was buried. Oh. It was like a fountain, man. Sad everywhere. Like, I mean, I've seen her mourn before, but this was different. Like, it was crazy, you know. They had this bond, more than a child, you know. And so I was there consoling, tried to cheer her up. She got quiet a bit, you know. I asked for my normal amala, you know. And so when it was time to leave, I had to say my goodbye, and just as I was about to get to the door, she was like, your sister has gone. I don't have any woman to be talking to anymore. Really? Right now? So you just have to do quick. Because now, I'm the only woman here. I'm like, at least let me grieve now. But besides, why is it just me that you do? I'm sure you don't do this. You don't do this to my brother. Why is it just me that you put this pressure on all the time? My mother looked at me, your brother, I've already given up on him at his age. No wife, no girlfriend, not even unwanted pregnancy. Which is why we had you. just in case your brother is impotent. I'm like, fair point. In all honesty, this is the most difficult special I've had to record. Yeah. But it has been on my mind because I genuinely was sure that she was not going to die. Trust me. So much so that I was like the last person to leave when she was buried. Although I had to be there to ensure I had to be there that they covered it very well and all of that. And I was there, I could not just believe that my sister. I just kept on looking at how evanescent life is. And so I had to be there. I was instructed to write her some form of identification on the grave. So I decided to write her initials, And so I, right there on the grave, I wrote her initials. Staring at it like in disbelief. And like Lot's wife, I just could not stop looking back. And I was leaving, like, really? All this, this is where it ends? Like, this is the end?
I'll always look back, sun walk away, this memory will last for eternity, and all of those tears will be lost in the rain. Found my way back to pure untrusting until that day. You know you are the queen of my love, the queen of my
Oh yeah. So you have one thing you can't remember? What a life. Wow. Maybe they never born you.
What's that?
You forgot when we knew that